this is just the kind of thing that shows us that the weather is a formidable, I don't want to call it an adversary, but an entity. The force of nature is what we're working with when we're talking about hurricanes. So this is the kind of thing that comes up when we're trying to be flexible and we're trying to, for, you know, impromptu help. Yes, Kimberly, no problem. We can do it. We can do it. We will do it. All right. So
yeah, give me a second.
no stress. No stress. No stress. So, as in all forms of magic, our mood and state of mind must be prepared to focus the energy. It is customary that we begin with a song.
Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, and actor out alone. Riders on the storm.
Thank you for participating in the 7th annual Hurricane Protection Ritual. Protection ritual, not prevention ritual. There's a difference. We do not ever want to cause harm somewhere else by being so proud to think that we could really prevent hurricanes. What we can do is call for protection from those hurricanes by realizing that we need the powers that be to be on our side during this time of year. Right. So from now until November 30th, we will all need to do our part to keep this blanket of protection in place. If you are watching this from someplace where hurricanes are not the concern, please feel free to insert tornadoes, droughts, floods, fires, blizzards, or any other weather-related concern. We are pagans, and as such, we do well to take our relationship with the weather spirits seriously, no matter how that manifests in our area.
Alrighty. The National Weather Service's forecasters are predicting an above normal 2022 Atlantic hurricane season, expecting between 14 to 21 named storms. The Prediction Center said that the La Nina weather pattern is likely to persist throughout the hurricane season, causing warmer than average sea surface temperatures in the Atlantic Ocean and Caribbean Sea. La Nina also causes weaker tropical Atlantic trade winds and an enhanced chance of West African monsoon, which supports stronger African easterly waves, ideal conditions for strong, long-lived hurricanes.
June 1st marks the beginning of hurricane season. If you have not already done so, you should prepare yourself an emergency kit and make an evacuation plan if the need should arise. What would you need to stay in your home for 3+ days, possibly without electricity? Many grocery and drug stores have displays and checklists available, which will include water, non-perishable foods, flashlights, batteries, first aid kits, medicines, pet supplies. These are just the basics that hurricane season should alert us to prepare. It will be a blessing to have these things if needed, and an even bigger blessing if it turns out that we do not need these things at all. Amethyst, would you read the next section, please?
We got to unmute Amethyst.
Unmute.
Suzette, I think you have to unmute. There we go.
Oh.
She can unmute herself.
Okay. In a field, one summer's day, a grasshopper was hopping about, chirping and singing to its heart's content. An ant passed by, bearing along with great toil an ear of corn he was taking to the nest. "Why not come and chat with me," said the grasshopper, "instead of toiling and moiling in that way?" "I am helping to lay food for the winter," said the ant, "and recommend you do the same." "Why bother about winter?" said the grasshopper. "We have got plenty of food at present." But the ant went on its way and continued its toil. When the winter came, the grasshopper had no food and found itself dying of hunger. While it saw the ants using the corn and grain from the stores they had collected in the summer. Then the grasshopper knew it is best to prepare for days of need.
Lulu, are you prepared to read?
Yes. Nature is big and we are small. We also need to remember that the majority of humans have lost touch with the weather spirits. They think they can rely on modern tracking and hurricane codes to keep us safe. True, we have it a lot better than people in this area did 500 years ago. But if we were still nomadic, all of us would just pick up and move at different times of the year. Not an option for many of us now, but those in evacuation areas need to take that seriously.
Amanda?
Ready. Allow me to relate a passage from one of these spirits walks, the author of Weather Shamanism by Nan Moss shared. "I fly to the upper worlds in the company of power animals, asking to meet the spirit of weather. I did not know why I felt ecstatic. We fly through the layers of storm clouds up and up, searching until we finally are face to face with cloud being. He is impossibly large, with lightning shimmering in his eyes, and when he speaks, snowballs tumbles from his mouth. I feel glad to have my helper spirits nearby. I introduce myself and respectfully ask that I could ask the cloud being for teaching for our community. I'm generally surprised and dismayed by his teachings. He is unmistakably annoyed. He tells me that essentially our culture has forgotten him. But in times past, people all over the world spoke to him, prayed to him, and worked with him. Now he is ignored. Now our science and knowledge attempts to depersonalize and despirit him. So he creates apparent rough weather that we will notice, puzzle over, and know that we didn't know. As I feel the spirit mood, I am speechless. I offer my thanks for him, for his teachings, and promise to share this with the circle and community.
Panda.
Yes. This book refers to weather as the emotions of our planet. It warns that the weather will pick up on the vibes humans give off. As pagans, we have a lot of healing to do to make up for the actions of our species as a whole. At one point, a message came from Spirit: "You are so quick to bulldoze the homes of others. Why do you lament when I feel the need for change?" Okay, so we get the message. In addition to our physical preparations, we will make spiritual, mental, and emotional preparations to deal with hurricane season and strive to live in harmony with nature all year long. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Hurricanes spin widdershins in the northern hemisphere. They are the crones of our weather. As such, they call for our respect in that their powerful destructive forces actually brought about our creation. Just as the crone represents death and rebirth, so does the hurricane by churning up the elements, nutrients, and seeds, distributing and redistributing these vital components of life. The crone hurricane brings life through destruction. She asks for our respect, and we do well to give it. And Jen.
Are you prepared, Jen? I'll do it. Okay. Crone hurricane speaks to the tiny, stubborn beastie. For eons, I have left the coast and moved out to the sea. Warmed by the sun, the air encourages the ocean to give up its moisture to form my clouds. I will dance with the rhythm of the earth. I will spin along with that delicious pull. Faster and faster, ever spiraling inward, stronger and stronger, I grow ready to churn the ocean floor. I scatter the water and seeds and life as I go. I am brilliant. Can't you see that? I am a force of nature, and as such, I am big, really, really big. There was a time when you folks would skedaddle at my forecast. Humans, unlike any other animal, now choose to build their homes to withstand me? Me? Is that a challenge? No, no, my tiny stubborn beasties. Take heart, for I take no offense. Nature is not evil or good. Nature just is what it is. And of late, I have heard the pleas of some who stand with my good friend, Lady Florida. Lady F and I go way back. Let us strike a bargain then. I will do my best work out over the ocean. That is where I am happiest after all. I will do my darndest to calm myself as I reach your lands naturally. But beware and be ready. Act with caution. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. An annual ritual in my name would be nice as well. Recognize me as a living entity and join me in a dance of balance, and I will concede. May your windows hold.
May
your windows
hold.
Lady Florida.
I will speak next. Oksana, do you want to spotlight us? Because it'll be me and Lord Mangrove next.
Yeah.
Spotlight us.
Mhm,
You just gotta find our button.
mhm. I still
You
don't.
just passed it over. It's the first one. Go back. That one, the first one.
Yeah, that one's us. Okay, here we go. So, this is a story from not so long ago when I was young, and begins when the seas covered all this land. The water elementals called the sultry ocean their home and swam happily among the waves. Yet over time, the land grew and grew beneath the ocean until one day an entire peninsula was born of seashells, coral, and limestone. The land elementals gathered on this new earth and fed life into its soil. From that life came many of the great tree guardians of ancient Florida, including the cypress, the palm, and the mangrove. Now in those days, all the trees lived on and were close to the ground and soil beneath their roots. They let some rain fall from the sky to nourish them with water, but none of the trees liked the heavy rains or flooded ground. The water elementals were jealous. They missed the oceans they had called their own for all of time, and they wanted the land to become ocean again. They sent their mighty waves against the beaches, but the dunes outlasted every high tide, and inevitably they had to recede again into the ocean. So the water elementals came up with a plan. I know what we can do. Water alone is not strong enough to defeat Earth and cover her with our element. But with air, we can have storms, mighty storms, storms so powerful that the land itself will be swept back into the sea to give us back what once was ours. So the water elementals called upon the air elementals, and they combined their powers into a hurricane. All the might of water, all the fluidity of air, spiraling and circling, beautiful and terrible and destructive. Surely this hurricane will be strong enough to defeat the land elementals and bring Florida back to the ocean. But the land elementals saw the danger, and they gathered their forces, the mightiest and the strongest of the trees, and gave each of them special powers. The cypress grew so tall and so strong, its roots sunk deep, so no wind could topple it. The palm was blessed with leaves and a trunk that could bend without breaking, and the mighty mangrove spread his roots through the shoreline, holding the ground against the storm surges and high tides. The mangrove cried, "Never, never shall the land yield, not so long as my roots can keep it safe." 9 days became 9 nights, 9 nights, 9 weeks, 9 weeks, 9 months, 9 months, 9 years. And all this time the hurricane blew and the forest stood their ground, defending the land from the ocean. But as the battle went on, the combatants grew tired. They couldn't even remember what they were fighting about. The hurricane had no grudge against the land. And the trees wanted the water that came with the storms. And the great Everglades spread across the southern half of the peninsula, making a home for the water elementals like nowhere else on earth. So they laid down their arms and ceased to battle, and all the world rejoiced. The fire elementals rejoiced too, for they had not liked the 9 years of rain and storm. And so, for a time, the world was at peace. But the land was drying out, suffering without the rains of the hurricanes. So a new decision was made. Instead of a battle, now all the elements dance together in a great dance of balance that holds them together in peace. The rains and winds of the hurricane spread water and seeds throughout the land, nourishing the soil and the plants that live upon it. The trees hold the land safely against the encroaching storms so that the land elementals along the shore stay safe. The air flowing around the planet is cooled and recycled by the force of the hurricane winds, channeling renewal and new beginnings wherever it goes, and clearing out the old. And in the dry season, the fire elementals could thrive, knowing they were safe from the rains and storms. In their time, they could do their part in keeping the land fertile and healthy, just as the hurricane served the same purpose in its season. And since nothing can last forever, a great balance was struck, that the hurricane should have its season and cause as little harm as it may, while doing as much good as it could, and that it should be in a season where the temperatures were hot and the plants resting. When the temperature cools under the influence of its low pressure systems, then the hurricane should return to the ocean, not to return until the next summer. And in that time, the dry season, the fire elementals do their part. And that is the great dance of balance that holds the seasons in place here in Florida, a dance as intricate and beautiful as any seen on earth.
We make our hurricane protection candles at this time of the year. If you have the one you made last year, that's good. We didn't have that. We didn't have the multitude of storms that we had the year before. You might just want to freshen the herbs or add a symbol of thanks to it. If you have gathered the necessary materials to make another, we will make them now together so we can hold them and consecrate them during the ritual.
Okay.
Let's look at what we will need. One candle that is not in a glass. Emergency candles from the dollar store work very well. A needle or a nail, olive oil, cinnamon powder, a bag just big enough for your candle to fit in, embellishments such as herbs, crystals, charms, etc. can be collected later and throughout the season. A cord or string to wear the bag as a necklace during the ritual.
Okay, so if anyone has their materials ready.
And outside, do you guys want needles?
I have a
You just need to spotlight you so they can see
Spotlight
better.
me so everybody can see me. Okay.
Okay.
So we have a tapered candle, a short tapered candle, and it's only short so that it'll fit in the bag. So any loose candle will do. And I like the idea of using the emergency candles that you can get at the dollar store, because that's what they're for. They're for protection during a blackout. So they already come with a purpose. So their purpose is protection right from the beginning. You take a nail or needle, and you're going to scratch on the candle words of encouragement, words of protection, various runes or symbols. You can make a pentagram, you can make a spiral, you can make the hurricane, that little hurricane symbol, you know, and put a cross through it. You can, anything that means protection to you or safety, for calm, you might want to make like a double spiral, or if you're a Reiki practitioner, you might have various symbols that you want to put on there, and just do that now. Just put a few, you can put more later, and just put on there what you want to put on there. Lady Florida, what are some runes that could be put on there that would be good?
Well, I'm gonna be using a combination of Jera, which is like two little sideways V's kind of facing into each other. Jera means season. In this case, I'd be referring to hurricane season. I'm gonna include a Thurisaz, which is just one straight line with a triangle in the middle on its side, for protection, specifically Thor's protection. Thor, god of thunder, storms, asking for his protection during this season. And then I'm going to include an Othala, which will refer to the home.
Very good. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect combination of runes for your protection candle. Does anybody else have anything they want to say that they would put on there? Any other ideas?
I have one. I was thinking I would combine. What I did was I combined two runes for protection and I forgot what they're called, protection and defense, and then one for water and what was the other one? I think it was like aggressive weather or something. Or something, I forget exactly what it was.
Agalas, maybe?
It was what?
Agalas for hail, maybe?
No, it was something similar. It was the one that kind of looks like an N, and the one that kind of looks like this.
Oh, Nalthis.
I think so. I don't remember all the names of that. I'm still learning the runes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I was kind of, yeah.
That's very good. The important thing is that what it means to you. You know, so you can put anything on here. You can put a peace sign, you know, you can put a heart, you put, you know, just, you can write words, may my windows hold, you know, or shoe. Those are, those are our words. Okay, so once you have this all scratched up the way you want it, you're going to take your olive oil. And you're going to rub the candle with the olive oil. Now, the easiest way to do this is get a plate, put a little bit on a plate. We did that earlier. You got a little on a plate, put your finger in the olive oil and just rub it on the candle back and forth and anoint it with the olive oil. Right? Yeah, yeah. So you got that. And we're going to go through what all of these steps mean after, okay? And then you sprinkle some cinnamon on your plate, some cinnamon powder, and you rub the cinnamon from tip to the center and from end to the center, from end to center, end to center. And what will happen like magic is you'll see your words and your symbols come to life, and it's pretty impressive. And when you're putting that cinnamon down into those scratches, and the oil is keeping it there. Yeah, and you do it from end to end to add strength to it. This is the way you add strength when you're dressing a candle. So you want to increase the strength of it like that. So that is your basic candle. Now what you're going to do now is put the candle in your bag and then embellish it with other herbs and oils, not oils, herbs and charms and any stones you might have. You could put some rosemary in there. You could put some frankincense, basil, lavender to calm the storm. This is cedar. That adds strength. See, look, Carl made his. You can see that the cinnamon is in the scratches, and it makes a dressed candle quite nicely. Very nice. All right. Okay. So once you have it in the bag with all your stuff, it's time to bless it. You always want to end ritual of candle dressing with a little blessing. And this is ours. And I will say a line and you repeat after me. Hurricanes spin widdershins.
Hurricanes spin widdershins.
They banish the dead and dying stuff.
They
banish the dead and dying stuff.
Blow away all negativity.
Blow
away all negativity.
But limbs and leaves are quite enough.
But
limbs
and leaves are quite enough.
Quite enough.
My home is a living thing.
My home is a living
thing.
Its heartbeat strong with love and light.
Its
heartbeat
strong with love
and light.
Wind, see the difference and leave it be.
Wind,
see the difference and leave it be.
Let it be.
Rain, soak the earth, but spare me strife.
Rain,
Soak the earth,
but
spare me strife.
The goddess stands within my walls.
The
goddess stands within my walls.
My windows hold strong and true.
My windows hold strong and true.
My roof stays put despite the squalls.
My roof stays put despite the squalls.
Despite the straws.
When Mother Nature transforms anew.
When Mother Nature transforms anew.
So mote it be.
So mote it be.
All right. So Jonathan was next to talk. Is he ready? Yes. Okay. So here's what all that means. Your white candle is purity, meditation, divination, healing, truth, peace, innocence, clairvoyance, and spirituality. And that steel nail that you used, put that in the bag too. Steel is a projective metal. It is used for defensive magic to deflect negative energies away. Now, the sigils that you put on your candle, they are whatever they mean to you. The olive oil that we use is ruled by the sun and fire and draws peace, healing, and protection. The cinnamon is more sun and fire. Vast array of properties can be focused on home protection. Now, I like to add some basil. This is basil from Suzette's yard. Right? That's happiness and banishes depression. And some lavender is calming and reduces stress. The rosemary is protection, healing, and cleansing. And some frankincense adds potency to the spell, as well as luck, protection, and purification. Now, Carl got some cedar for us too. I'll be bringing all this on the 17th so that you can juice up your bags if you like. This is cedar strips. Carl, what did you learn about cedar?
That it's great for protection and for imbuing spells that and rituals that have to do with mitigating of negative forces. So
Very,
it
very
also
appropriate.
opens doorways for psychic stuff. It's really kind of all over the place, but its main thing is protection.
All right. So once you close that, and you don't knot it because we're going to have to get back into it. And if you see anything during the hurricane season that you want to add to it, it's easy to open up and put some more in. You might, if we have a storm and, we have successfully lessened it or turned it, if you have a little of that rainwater, you might put a vial of that in here. If you have a stone that particularly speaks to you, maybe an amethyst, right? Put it in there and it'd be beautiful. And whatever it is, you could even put a rune in there or anything. This is your bag. This is your spell. This is your protection. And then you would wear it in ritual, and you would keep it. Suzette has had hers hanging on the door all year. I have one hanging by my front door. I have one hanging here. I have them all over the place. And so then when it's needed, then this is how we use it. We're going to use one now. We're going to use one that was made last year. And this one didn't get used last year. Thank you, Goddess, for not making that necessary, right? Because it was like a year or two before that we used. I went through like 5 of them because we were having a scare every weekend.
We kept boosting, yep.
Yep, we kept doing it. But so this is one that was left from last year. And I'll tell you what we do with those. When we're under hurricane watch or warning, we would all get together. Now we could get together on Zoom. We used to just get together on Facebook and tell each other that we were doing it, But we could actually get together on Zoom if it was really serious. But anytime that you feel like you would like to have a little bit more protection in your home against the powers that be, the storms and the weather spirits, to show them that you're there and that you were working with them and that you would like their protection, please. We would light this candle first. Ground and center yourself. Take a deep breath and relax. Don't panic. Remember, whatever we put out into the universe comes back to us. So we don't want to be in a panic. It just started raining very heavily here. So it's trying to tell us something. But we're going to say that we are calm. We will light our candle and we will recite, Mother Goddess, please take some of the energy from this most powerful storm and send it out to where it is most needed. Transform the destructive forces into waves of love and light. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Mote it be.
Could it be?
And remember the magic words. May your windows hold
May
May your windows
hold.
hold.
and shoo, shoo.
Shoo, shoo.
May God do the hand motion with the shoe. It's a flick of the wrist.
Good with the hand motion. Let's do it. All right. So that's going to be kept burning till it burns all the way out, because this season is already showing us that it means business, and we're going to have to show it right back. Okay, I'm asked, please, please, please. So I want everybody now take a little drink of water or stretch, stick your arms out. Get yourself comfortable. Just relax and close your eyes. And I am going to read the script of the hurricane protection ritual that we will be performing at Love and Light 2 weeks from tonight. And we will do it with all the players and all the rattles and all the drums and the gong. And it is spectacular. And I want everyone to experience that in person. But for now, let's experience it in our minds, because remember, magic starts in our minds, and our thoughts are projected and become reality. We can manifest anything we want with just our thoughts and our words. So just take a deep breath, relax. There are places in this ritual where you will, if you've gone through it before, you will hear some familiar things. If you want to chant along, sing along, please be my guest. This is the work of a community. It takes the work of a community. All participants come into circle carrying their non-perishable offering and a rattle. Each is spritzed with Florida water as they enter. They place their offering in the sacred shopping cart as they go around. When everyone is in place, they are spritzed again, clockwise once more with the Florida water. Meanwhile, everyone on Zoom offers sounds of wind blowing. With interjections of shoo, shoo. The circle is sealed with a piece of masking tape on each person's shoulder while we perform the call and response. Lady Florida and Lord Mangrove lead us in our call and response. May your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
And keep you safe inside these walls.
And keep you safe inside these walls.
May your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
And protect you and yours.
And protect
Protect
you and
yours.
May
yours.
your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
And keep out the bully winds that threaten to knock you down.
And
Keep
keep
out
out the bully
bully
winds
winds that threaten to knock you down.
May your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
Protect hearth and home.
And protect
Protect hearth and home.
May your windows hold.
May
your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
May
May your windows hold.
No outside forces may ask for your submission.
Those
Outside forces may ask for your submission
May your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
May
May your windows hold.
May your windows hold.
May
May
your
your
windows
windows
hold.
hold.
Mote it be.
So
So
mote
mote
it
it
be.
Be.
The fire is lit. Participants rattle and howl as the fire grows.
Woo.
When energy peaks, gong. All participants chant together, calling the quarters in rounds, repeating 5 times, and then gong. In the east, the wind is rustling. 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 Gong.
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 In the south, the fire is raging.
In
In the
the
south, the fire is raging.
raging.
In the
In the
south,
south,
the fire
fire
is
is
raging.
raging.
In the
In the
south,
south,
the fire is raging.
raging.
In the
In the
south,
south,
the
the
fire
fire
is
is
raging.
raging.
In the
In the
south,
south,
the
the
fire
fire
is
is
raging.
raging.
Gong. In the west, the water is rising. 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 In the west, the water is rising.
In the west,
The
the
water
Is rising.
Gong. In the north, the earth is rumbling.
In
In the north,
the
the earth
earth
is
is
rumbling. In the
In the
north,
north,
the
the
earth
earth is
is
rumbling.
rumbling. In the
In the
north,
north,
the
the
earth
earth
is
is
rumbling.
rumbling.
In the
In the
north,
north,
the
the
earth
earth
is
is rumbling.
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 Gong.
Gong.
And the high priestess speaks. Silence. Here in the eye of the storm, the spirit is calm. We appeal to the goddess in her many forms. Hera, Tempestus, Oya, goddesses that can hold back the ravaging storms, only to send them down to earth with a vengeance. Please accept this offering, the light of a candle, to calm the spirit and turn the rain clouds into rainbows. Keep us safe within your good graces. Be with us in this season of uncertainty. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
And the high priest says, in the circle, all is calm. We appeal to the God in his many forms, Zeus, Jupiter, Ukko, gods of rain and storm, causing the clap of thunder and the bolt of lightning that send us all to cover. Please accept this offering. He lights the incense to sweeten the disposition and turn the sound of thunder into shouts of praise for you. So mote it be.
So
So
mote
mote
it
it
be.
be.
Would it be?
The bard tells us a story, the continuing story of that ant and grasshopper. We all just heard that story, where the grasshopper dances and fiddles through the summer months. He thought nothing of the coming winter and put no food aside. He had plenty at the time and could not imagine it being any different. He saw his folly later that year and paid the price. The lesson is clear. The goddess helps those who help themselves. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
But there is more to learn from this tale, a caution we might miss between the lines. Let's imagine for a moment that we were so much like the ant, we hoarded and denied help to others in need. That ant was right to give a warning, right to encourage and even plead, but should he be the judge and jury when a fellow creature is in need? What about forgiveness, kindness, compassion? The grasshopper couldn't see the danger. Might he do better next time? Is it not for the ant to decide? I'm afraid it was the blessings of the goddess he was collecting after all. Generosity is proof that we believe in her abundance. It will come back to us threefold if it is given from the heart. We have all been the grasshopper as well as the ant, and it is only by her love that we continue to be anything at all. So be generous, Pay it forward and bask in the glory of her abundance. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Let us call for a blessing on the gifts in our sacred shopping cart. Focus your attention on the sacred shopping cart. Send your intention of blue skies and calm winds. Send it with gratitude that in our time of need, we will find it. It will come back to us threefold. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Let us proceed clockwise to pick up our cakes and ale. When everyone is back in place, Mother Gaia blesses the feast. Clean water in time of need becomes more precious than the finest mead. May we never thirst.
May we never thirst.
Plain crackers in danger's wake becomes far sweeter than the richest cake. May we never hunger.
May
we never hunger.
We offer a portion to the Lord and Lady and burn our cups in the fire. We thank the Lord and Lady for their kind attention to our situation. We thank you, Great Horned One, God of all of nature, for your attention on this clear night, for a future time which may not be so bright. Hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell.
We thank you, dear Lady, Mother of all creation, for your attention now, for a future date that we won't have to worry about our fate. Hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell.
Everyone repeats after the high priest. Earth may rumble.
Earth may rumble.
Water may rise.
Water may rise.
Fire may rage.
Fire may rage.
Wind may rustle.
Wind may rustle.
But the goddess helps those who help themselves.
The goddess helps those who help themselves.
Hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell.
May all things work toward the greater good. Keep us safe. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
May all entities attracted by this rite be on their way and go in peace. Go in peace.
Go in peace.
By the earth that is her body, by the air that is her breath, by the fire that is her bright spirit, by the living waters of her womb. May the peace of the goddess be forever in your heart. This circle is open but unbroken. Meet and Mary's heart. This circle is open but unbroken. Mary, meet and Mary's heart. And Mary again. This ritual is over. We have made our needs known. The goddess is loving. Let our will be done. So mote it be.
So mote
it be.
So mote it be.